Hi, I'm Scott Lucas with Lucas Financial Services and Wisdom Tax Group, and today is my Wisdom Wednesday message. Today, I wanted to take a few minutes speaking about tariffs. Obviously, it's been in the news quite a bit, and as usual, a lot of the media loves to play on fear because it gets people's attention. And anyway, the whole subject of tariffs has been a hot subject and inspiring, I think, some fear. One thing I think it's important to be aware of is that we're currently already using tariffs. We're paying tariffs and we're also receiving tariffs. So it really boils down to the strategy and the skill of implementing tariffs. So, for example, this is many years ago. I had a very good friend of mine. They had a company that did manufacturing right in Columbus, Ohio. And to lower the cost, they started moving their manufacturing to Mexico. And they were actually manufacturing all of their product, bringing it back into the United States from Mexico. Then they decided to move to China because of that was actually a cheaper way to manufacture that product in China. And so they moved their manufacturing to China. And this is, again, a company that made a product in Columbus, Ohio. And so basically one of the strategies that, using tariffs could be to say, hey, bring your manufacturing back to, the United States and you can not have any tariffs on manufacturing the product. So for one, it's a strategy to try to bring jobs, economic growth back to the United States. Secondly, as we've most recently seen, is a strategic tool in trying to, I don't know, change behaviors of different countries. We're already, Mexico and China and Canada are already paying tariffs, but in this particular case, the strategy was, empowering United States to have some of these other countries change their behavior towards us. And so far, it's worked, and it hasn't cost anything other than, there was some short-term fear inspired by the media. So I think it's important to be aware of that. I think it's also important to, uh, you know, um, be patient. I think patience is a key. I think there's been tremendous thought that is going into the strategy that is being played out right now. And I think in the long run, I think everything is going to work, but I don't disagree that there could be some short-term volatility. One other thing I'd like to share with you do a screen share. I think it's important to be aware that tariffs might, hurt economic output, but, not necessarily stop bull markets. And just to give you an example, so let's suppose you had a car that in the United States cost $60,000, and in China, the cost of that car made is $55,000. A tariff of 25% would make the cost of that car made in China $68,000. So it makes the appeal for the homemade product to be um, more appealing. And so when we look at the tariffs that were enacted in 2018, by the last time Trump was in office, there was one of the topics was washing machines and laundry equipment, and you can see that there's a short-term initial spike. Like it says, tariffs are many times like a one-off price shock rather than extended inflation, and then they came back down. And you see also from 2013, you see the example of laundry equipment and the cost of that, a short-term spike, and then it started trending right back down. But it was a better decision for the long term. And here's another thing I wanted to point out is looking at the returns after the initial Trump tariff. The main thing that stands out is the developed markets and emerging markets got hit a lot harder. The U.S. market in the short term in bonds actually also had a decline. That was mostly the fourth quarter of 2018. The first 9 months of 2018 were actually pretty solid, but the fourth quarter of 2018 was rough, and then immediately in 2019 it turned around. And then if you look at the 3-year annualized return after those tariffs that were imposed at that time, you can see that market returns, especially in the U.S., were actually quite strong. Not very good in emerging markets and developed markets, but there was the longer term version of what happened during the last time we had tariffs imposed. actually with patients was actually quite rewarding. So hopefully you found this valuable, and probably be having some more information on this subject as time goes on. But thank you for listening, and have a great day.